This is Mrs. Vibber Johnson,
And Mr. Nash.
and we're here today to talk about how to create claims based on facts and evidence. And you see, we have two bridges here. And what we'd like you to do is, as you're writing, you want to make sure that the facts and evidence that you have really support your claim. And to make a strong claim, you want your evidence to look like that nice solid bridge. See the bridge that a car wouldn't be afraid to go over on the right-hand side? This bridge here. This is claims that are based on real strong facts and evidence. And then on the left-hand side, we have this rickety kind of scary bridge that you might be scared to cross. You start to cross and you fall through, and plummet into the river below. That is
Tragic, really.
very tragic. And that is where you have facts and evidence that aren't quite really good, clear facts to support a claim. They're weak evidence. So we're looking to write a paper where there's strong evidence.
All right, so I'm going to show you guys what a claim is and how to do this. So first of all, a claim is an idea or a conclusion that you yourself come up with. So this is your own thinking. We don't want you just to look for facts in books and tell us that. We want you to come up with your own reasons and opinions. However, we also don't want you to make those reasons and opinions up out of nowhere. We want you to base them on evidence. So when you're doing your research, you're going to be looking for evidence, and then you'll be looking at that evidence to come up with the idea or conclusion that supports your argument. So a solid claim will support your argument. So the argument might be schools need to change their lunches, and one claim might be because it would help health problems in society. So your claim is like the reason, and then you have evidence to support that claim. A good claim is made, as Mrs. VJ said in the intro, with solid and logical evidence. So it's a strong foundation like that bridge, not that rickety, creaky bridge that would be scary to cross. Okay, so as we're looking here at the difference between an argument, claims, and reasons and evidence, here is the difference. So a sample argument might be like the schools should improve the quality of their lunches. One claim or reason, this would be what you come up with here, this middle part, would be that bigger portions will help student achievement. And then in your research, you may find some things that back this claim up, like hungry students can't focus, your brain works better with fuel, and that schools increase lunch portion. That do increase lunch portions show achievement. So the stuff that's in green, that would be the kind of stuff that you would find in a book that you would write down in your notes. And once you are done with your research, you look at these things and you'd write your own claim or reason. And the claim or reason would support the larger argument you're making in your paper. So this would be like all your papers about this. Only one part of your paper is going to be about this. And this is the evidence that proves that point. So as we're continuing on here, this is what we want you to start to do. Too often, we start with our argument and we work our way down. I'm suggesting that we start opposite. Start with your evidence. Hit the books. Hit the websites. Start looking at topics, different people's opinions. And through that, you're going to start to see that you're going to develop evidence, some facts and some things that exist out there.
These are all the notes you take while you're learning.
Yeah, so you don't, when you're trying to solve a problem, like if you're going to buy an iPhone or an Android phone, you wouldn't just start to say, I want to buy an Android phone. You'd want to look at the evidence and start to develop reasons why one phone is better than the other.
And you don't just want to go out and buy a phone just because, oh, my friend has this phone and my friend says it's really good, so that's the kind of phone I want. You actually want to go gather some data and some information yourself and make that own decision about whether that's the right phone for you. Because what might be a good phone for your friend may not be a good phone for you.
Yeah, so start with the evidence and gather that evidence. You're going to use that evidence to develop your own claims, things that you know or think based on that evidence. And then, and only then, do you start to think about what your argument is or your position on a debate or an argument. So I'm suggesting, or we're suggesting, that you do it backwards. Start with evidence, then move to claims, then move to your position. So I'm going to show you an example of an author that has a claim who supports it with facts, evidence. And this is the kind of thing that when you do your writing, we want you to do this very same thing. So I've circled the claim in this text. This is a text about the Mexican-American War. And the claim is circled in black. People in the United States had mixed feelings about the war. This is a claim. It's her opinion, the author's opinion, based on the research she's done. She's saying that people had mixed feelings. So now she has to provide evidence that supports that claim, that people did in fact have mixed feelings during this war. So I underlined some of it in green. President Polk was eager to fight, so he's one person that has a feeling that the war is good. So were many other people. Thousands rushed to volunteer. If people are rushing to volunteer, they're probably eager to fight as well. Some people thought the United States should take all of Mexico, very eager to take land. Slave owners saw Mexico as a place to extend slavery. Some thought themselves patriots and wanted to spread the American way of life. Everything in this section I'm circling with my mouse right now is all people that want to fight. So in order to prove her claim, she has to talk about people that didn't want to fight, and she does that right here. But not everyone agreed. Some Americans said the United States was acting like a bully. And we could go on and on into this text, but you see that the author clearly has a claim that people had mixed feelings, and she also has supporting evidence to back that claim up. And that's what we suggest you do. So you gather the stuff in green first, and then based on that stuff, you write your claim in your persuasive piece. So that's just one sample of how you can write a claim based on evidence.
So now what we'd like you to do is do some practice. So we're going to give you some evidence that we've made up, and we'd like you to make a claim. So the evidence in this situation is students who have cell phones can do research in class. A cell phone is a great communication device to extend learning. Students are more engaged to learn when using technology in school. Take these 3 pieces of evidence and now write a claim.
So on your paper, just number it 1, 2, 3, or in a Word document, just write 1, 2, 3. And all we want you to do is just write this part here, just the claim, to show us that you've done this problem. Hit pause now. All right.
In our second problem, we say we have 4 pieces of evidence, and of course we've made all this evidence up too just for the purpose of this activity. Teenagers require more sleep than adults. Students who do not get enough sleep do worse on assignments than students who get 10 hours of sleep. Research shows that teenagers who get less than 10 hours of sleep have trouble staying focused. 45% of middle school students have reported falling asleep during the school day. So now take those 4 pieces of evidence and write a claim.
So you can hit pause on your video now. All right.
Pencils back up. Last one. Okay. Studies show that 33% of bullying in schools is related to what students is wearing. Schools that have a dress code of 22% less bullying than schools without a dress code. Studies show that students often group themselves based on appearance and fashion are less willing to get to know each other. Again, this is all made up evidence, but take that evidence and write a claim. Pencils up, write. Good.
All right. So now you know how to write a claim based on evidence, and we would like you to use this method when you're doing your argument writing. So the claim should be yours, your own thinking, and that should be based on solid evidence that you found in your research.
Now you know how to write a good claim and good evidence to support that claim. You know how to make a strong bridge.